Hello my curlies, Erica here from Coils and Curls. Welcome back to another Frizz-Free Friday. Thank you for watching. There are 3 things that I need to hit upon before we start this week's video. One is that YouTube has some new features. So you'll notice that things look a little different, but they still work exactly the same. And second is that you can zoom in now. So now I don't have to get close to the camera because all you have to do is pinch and expand, just like you do on an iPhone for anything you want to zoom in on. Third is I'm up to 172 subscribers, and I want to say thank you so much to everyone. I really appreciate it. Keep passing me around. I really need to get to 1,000 subscribers in order for YouTube to take me seriously, I guess. I don't know. Those are my 3 things, and now let's jump into this week's video. One of my subscribers had asked about the different types of curly haircuts and how they're different. I had no idea because I'm trained in the Diva, and I've kind of morphed the Diva cut into something that works well for me and that my clients seem to like, and it works for them as well. Now, because there are over 12 different curly hair cutting techniques, that was how I fell down that rabbit hole last week. Many of these curly techniques that I did look up, they all say they are for all hair types, all hair textures, all hair densities. But from my research, it doesn't look like all of them can be for every curl texture or hair density, because some of them are meant to remove bulk. So just remember, not every technique works for every curly, but you have to be the judge for yourself because every curly is different, every curl is different, and everyone's hair responds differently. One thing that did stick out to me about some of these curl cutting techniques, especially the ones on the dry hair, is they want you to come in with freshly cleansed and conditioned hair that is now dry. The hair does not have the same curl pattern that it does when it is styled with product or even a leave-in conditioner. But if you're not putting anything into your curls, all that's happening is that your hair is not contracting the way it would normally. It's frizz because we need something in our hair, otherwise we are frizz. You see what my hair looks like when there's nothing in it. It's a frizz bomb. How can a hairdresser cut my curls if there aren't any? The other question by one of my subscribers was, how is it different getting a wet haircut meant for straight hair and translating that wet cut into a dried curly girl? What I found, because at 56, we didn't do curly haircuts until 20 some odd years ago. What I found is when I got a haircut in a salon and they did a wet cut, which went with the comb, everything is even, everything matches nicey nice, and then my hair would dry, and sometimes it would be okay, and it would look good, but most times it did not. And then at that point, I had to start going in and cutting my hair to fix it so at least it laid a little bit better and wasn't sticking out in different directions. It was then at about, I guess it was 1995, 96, I started cutting my hair by myself. Was it curl by curl? No, not really. It was an adjusted technique because I was doing it myself. But that's when I started cutting my hair myself because nobody could get it to look good consistently every time. And I always had to go in and rescue it. And this is why a wet, straight cut does not always work for a curly girl. Sometimes it will, but most times it won't. The 4 dry cuts are a Brazilian cut that I learned from a hairdresser over a decade ago. I don't even know if it has a name. It's just a technique he showed me. Then you have the Diva cut, you have the Rizo cut, and you have the Mizani air cut. These 4 are done on dry hair. The Brazilian cut that I learned is taking a very large section. I'm going to be looking at my mirror. You take a chunk, you twist, and then you gently release. And where the hair dips is where you take tiny little clips in 3 different sections. This is very hard to see backwards, so I'm not going to do it. What that does is that it allows the curl to expand a little bit more because you're taking some of that bulk within the curl clump. So that this way, you're not going to have hair sticking out in crazy directions, but this is for someone with high density hair who likes their hair big and they're not trying to tame it and drag it down. The next is the Diva, which I have been certified by Diva since 2008. And I will be introducing you to someone that helped me during that curl certification. But I am going to first explain the Diva cut. And the Diva cut is just that you cut the curls individually and you cut them. It's hard to explain, but you want to cut them so that they're not going to be sticking out. You want the curl to always be facing in. So let's say I'm taking this particular curl and, oh, that's actually kind of crazy as it is. So you see how it's sticking up, and here is where you can use that new zoom feature if you want to see closer. Pinch and spread to make the image bigger. So I will take this curl, and you see where it starts to bend out. You want it to bend in. I'm having trouble seeing, but, and now you see it's not sticking out the way it was. That's the Diva cut. You're trying to fit the curls so that they look like a cascade. You don't see lines of demarcation where you see shelves of cut curls because they were all cut in a straight line. The way I cut hair kind of embraces some of the Brazilian that I learned, some of the Diva, but I digress. Let's move on now to the Rizo cut. This is where I'm going to get the help of someone who helped me during my Diva certification. Please don't be alarmed. Say hello to Erica. Yes, that is actually her name. Right here. Shock, I know. You can see Erica's hair is no longer curly because it's dry, but I did do a section of her hair to see if I could get it to be curly again, and it worked. I don't have a mannequin stand, so I'm gonna have to rig this. I'll have it positioned somehow. And I will have a mojito in hand. In the Rizo cut, when you take a bundle of hair, you encircle it and then it's cut like a rose, apparently somewhat concave. And again, these were from videos that I found online. I am not trained in any of these cuts other than the Diva and the showing of the Brazilian. Now, this cut is not supposed to look choppy when you flat iron and straighten your hair. It's more diffused on the ends. You gather the hair, cutting off the ends. I should probably move my drink. My mojito. What doesn't say fun like drinking and cutting with very sharp scissors? You take the hair and you cut where you want the cut to be. And then you're supposed to cut it in a rose, a concave rose. Now again, do I know exactly what this means? No, because I am not certified. I am doing what I think she's talking about. And then when you release, it's supposed to be diffused. Who knows? And then the way the rest of this goes, I might as well just do it because we don't want Erica to be lopsided. Bringing slightly up in elevation, you want to, again, using that original cut as the guide, now, do I know what I'm doing? Nah, I'm winging it. That's the theory behind the Rizo cut. The pictures that I found online of the Rizo cut seems to be mostly women who have very high density, meaning a lot of hair, as well as very tight curl patterns. Any of the videos I found, she was cutting off a lot of length and bringing the cuts up very short. I'm not sure how well this would work for someone with my type of hair. I don't think my curl pattern is tight enough for it. I did try to find enough information so that you would have a general idea of what to look for. Next is the Mizani haircut, and before I get into this one, we're taking a drink. They section the hair into 7 zones. Here's a look at those zones, and then sections are taken within these zones. They also have 5 different cut types that they use in different zones. They also use curved scissors in a very different way. I'm going to try to do this without the curved scissors, with the straight scissors. Hopefully I won't cut myself. And I'll try to explain a little bit, but I really did not understand much of this. This was also one of the haircuts where they wanted you to come in with clean, dry hair with nothing in it. To me, I can't see the curl pattern. I don't know how it's going to dry, because when all those hairs get back together, they're going to tighten. I don't understand the theory, but I can appreciate the concept. They use elevation and I can't even explain it. They grab the section between their fingers using the guide from below, and then they bring it up, and then they have you cutting with curved scissors at a 45-degree angle. So it's putting in what they call air pockets. And that's supposed to be diffusing the ends so that you don't have any sharp lines. So, don't know if you can see this, but it's supposed to go like this and just and then if you zoom in, you can see what the cuts look like. So it's staggered. You do this, I showed you all of those different cut types that they use within a haircut. It all sounds complicated to me. I don't understand how I would have control over knowing what the curl means if I don't know. I just don't understand. But I digress yet again. Halfway done with my drink, of course. We're moving on. The next cut, which is on wet hair, is the Diametrics cut. I don't understand how you can have someone come in with hair with nothing in it. You cannot see the curl pattern. Then you're going to wet that head so that the curls are elongated. Now you really don't know what the curls look like because you haven't seen them in a styled state when they are more put together. But This particular technique is on wet hair. They use long diagonal layers with inner layers. Now, I don't understand what that means, and I could not find anything really substantial to explain it to me. Very few videos on this. There's a lot on the Cristo styling, but there are very few videos out there about his actual cutting method. You section the hair into 12 sections. 12 sections, starting from the crown. No information out there on his technique. I did read somewhere that they use a sliding texturizing technique. Well, sliding means that you are sliding the scissors down the hair shaft, kind of like a razor cut, just that you're using your shears instead. And that exposes the inner core and creates more frizz. I don't understand. I don't profess to know about the technique. I just find it a little perplexing. After their wet haircut and their sliding technique, then the stylist cuts into the curls to contour the shape of the hair. They say that the hair fits into each other like a puzzle piece, but all of the photos that I found online don't look like hair fits into each other like a puzzle piece. It looks more chaotic to me. The Ouidad cut is a wet cut. I've never understood the Ouidad cut, but what they do is they say that they carve and slice. Carve and slice. To me, slicing and carving sounds like razor cutting or scissor shearing, where you're exposing the core and cutting more cuticle. They say that they're carving and slicing in a skillful way to cause the curls to fall like puzzle pieces. Now, the photos that I saw do not look like puzzle pieces. It again looks more chaotic than puzzle. This is my own personal opinion. If everyone goes and explores on their own, they might find that I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm not seeing the same photos that you're seeing. I am, again, just giving you my humble opinion. A hairdresser since 1985, and a curly since 1966. Like a fine wine, I just keep getting better with age. There were also no videos on the Ouidad carve and slice method online. I couldn't find them anywhere. Again, I went down several rabbit holes. They might be out there and I might have missed them, but I was ingesting a lot of information, and as someone with a TBI, sometimes that can get a little overwhelming. The next cut technique is called the tunnel cut. It's done on wet hair, but it is supposed to eliminate bulk. Diagonal strips are cut into the hair very close to the scalp. When I saw this video, I gasped. I mean, I couldn't believe someone was actually doing this to a head. I'll have to use Erica. If someone has heavy bulk, let's say in this area where your sides are, where you can get that pyramid look, they take a slim section, they cut it at the scalp. So they would put the cut right there and leave about 1/4 of an inch, and all of his hair would be gone. And that apparently is how they reduce the bulk if you have a lot here and want to get rid of it. I was horrified by this one. Okay, I gotta tell you, I was like, I guess if you have such high density hair and you have so much of it, and you'd like to get rid of some of it, this is a very good way. But as someone who doesn't have high density and coily hair, I was horrified. But I digress. The last cut that I'm going to explain for you is the Richie cut, or the Rizo cut. Focuses on hair weight and density. So it's how heavy your hair is or how thick your hair is. they're not paying attention necessarily to the curl pattern. They say they focus on removing interior volume. Removing interior volume sounds like you're cutting into the hair, sort of like the tunnel cut. But again, I could find nothing online about this cut, so I don't even know how it's done. I am surmising or assuming, and you know what they say about assuming, right? The photo galleries that I found online for the Richie cut all showed very coily, kinky, tight curls that had very high density. So lots of hair and tightness. A lot of them are low porosity so that they repel water, and that's why they are more voluminous, because they can't get the conditioner to soak inside because their hair repels the water and products. Everything sits on top. Now, because I don't know if the subscriber that suggested this wants to be called out by name, I will say thank you very much, subscriber. I appreciate the idea. Well, my curlies, this has been another Frizz Free Friday. Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And please, please, please pass me around to everyone you know. Some of us curlies have been straightening our hair for a very long time, and we don't know what to do with it. If you have a straight-haired 40-plus-year-old someone in your life, pass me along. I would appreciate it, and you never know. They might be sporting their curls next time. Ciao for now, my curlies. Cheers. I just want everyone to have a heads up. If I do miss next... Crap. The second is the Diva cut. The fourth is the Rizo cut. And then... No, wait. Oh, Erica. You take a section, you twist it without dropping it. You twist it, and then you gently release it. See, it's not clumping together properly. I think I took too big of a chunk. Okay, so let's try that again. Okay, the lime is starting to hit my mouth. And it's a good thing I'm almost done with my drink. Diva. I guess that's it. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell. That'll let you know when a new video. I just totally fucked this up, didn't I? I'm going to pull Erica over so that you don't have to look at my turkey neck. I hope you found today's video informational. I'm getting silly.